Hi guys, welcome back to episode 2 of Losers to Legend. I'm Zepez from ZepezTTV. We started off with some Cinderbrew on Mythic 0 to try and start getting a bit of gear. But when you're like 580 high level, it really does hit hard. So we started off by clearing a bit of trash on the left hand side. It was all going okay. I was getting hit like an absolute train. But the healer was keeping me up well. I was using cooldowns, the healer was using cooldowns. It was definitely painful. So nearly finished off Chef here. There we go, Chef's down so we can move on to the boss. I was kind of hoping no one had hit the patrons, but they got hit. And we had to take care of those. I did make a big mistake, as you're going to see here in a minute. Because I didn't finish clearing the left side. It means the left side got pulled. Start handing out those beers. And there's the left side. I kind of panicked at this point. And with those elites in there as well. It was a bit of a struggle, especially with my eye level taking a boss and trash. If I was the correct eye level, wouldn't have been a problem. But there we go, cheeky CR thrown in there. Trying to recover. But with my inexperience, lack of gear, knowledge of the dungeon as a tank, it just really didn't go well. So there we go, first dungeon, or first Mythic 0, first wipe. So we cleared off the left hand side trash and went back onto the boss. Speed it up a bit for you guys. We managed to get it down with no problem at that point. Plus I'd one pull on it at that point, so I kind of knew what to expect as a tank at that point. Still with a lot of learning to go, but we're getting there. So after this we went on to IPA. Trash was no problem at all. IPA was not a very eventful boss. I did accidentally kite it through a couple of the blobs, but it wasn't much of an issue. I think it was here I kited it through some blobs that had respawned. There we go. Bit of a shield up there, but we managed to take care of it. Once we recovered from that, no more problems really for IPA. Coming down to execute range now. And there we go. IPA going down. Pretty effortless. We finished off the trash here and moved on to the trash on the other side. And one thing I could really say about this trash is it hurt. We did have a little bit of an overpull there. That was my mistake again.
Watch your step.
My vendor's shield just decided to jump absolutely everywhere with me being too close in range. There we go. On to Mr. Buzzy Bee now. It was pretty eventless here as well. But again, it was due to my lack of experience. We did have a bit of a struggle with it. And then we had a hell of a lot of bees up. See healer having to pop some cooldowns there. Me having used my cooldowns already. Just getting absolutely smashed by the trash on the boss. I didn't realise at first that you had to kite the boss out of the puddles, which didn't help. Absolute ton of bees up. My health absolutely yo-yoing. Needless to say, we did manage to kill. Once that boss was dead, we cleared up the trash here, ran through and made an absolute beeline for the boss. You see what I did there? On to the last boss. Pretty eventless. He's taking a lot of damage still. Didn't help I wasn't moving out the fireballs that were coming in behind me and to the sides of me, but again, it's down to experience. I have very, very little experience in tanking in Mythic Plus. My first experience tanking on a Paladin, so a lot to learn still. Yeah, as you can see, down no problems at all. And I got myself a nice new shiny ring. Big eye level upgrade. After this, we went on a world tour. I figured that it was time to do some world quests. Start getting a bit of gear, because carry on with Mythic Zeros at 580 eye level was not a good idea. So we went through Undermine, done all the world quests in Undermine. Got quite a bit of gear from Undermine. And boosted that eye level up nicely. Went on, done some more world quests, Dornagal. Got my gold up a little bit as well, which after this allowed me to get a shield and weapon made, which was a nice upgrade. Finished off this section of the world quest. Decided it was time to go and do the bit inside to collect the tools, and then made a bit of a boo-boo. I was like, where's my bubble? Where's my bubble? Completely forgot it was on F3. I'd only just sorted my key bindings out. But recovered from that and finished off that world quest. Carried on doing some world quests throughout the lands. Had a nice little race in here, which I figured I'd throw in, because look at this super speed that I've done it in. But yeah, by this point, I'd pretty much done all the world quests. Massive upgrading gear. I thought, hey, let's go and try something different now. So we moved on to some LFR. What fun.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
So on to Cauldron. I'd not done LFR at all on any characters, so to say it was an experience was something else. And having done it on normal and heroic, I wasn't really knowing how simplified the mechanics were, so I kind of treated it as normal mechanics. I figured it'd be best way to do it. But a typical LFR group, it did take a long time to go down. You had the typical massive pumpers in the group, and then you had the lower DPS, so it did take a little while. So there we swapped sides. I don't know if you have to do that on LFR, but I done it anyway. Used to do it on normal heroic. But yeah, a couple of deaths throughout, but managed to get it down. Swapping sides again. Well, I got the dino down, and there was still a nice chunk left on the monkey, and I'm kind of thinking, what do we do here? Because I'm so used to killing them really, really close together. And then that bomb came in, I was just like, okay, I should probably stay and soak this, and the majority of the rest of this side ran off. So, okay, I need to stay here. But then it went down as I was waiting for it to pop. No gear there, but we move on to Mr. Reverb himself.
5, 4, 3.
One thing that I did find in this boss fight, which you'll see, is that the other tank really didn't like not having aggro. So the amount of times he kept taunting back off of me,
Watch your step.
it was irritating, but it's just one of those things really. Like, you find some tanks, whether you're just doing like a pug normal or LFR, other tanks just like keeping the aggro all the time. Bit of a speed up here. Taunted away from the pylons. Not sure if it makes a difference in LFR, but I didn't want to find out the hard way. Getting knocked up in those puddles. Back onto Rick. Getting him away from that pylon. We managed to get him down quite nicely in a good time. Through the puddles and then straight down.
Watch your step.
Few dead as you expect in LFR, but that's the way it goes. You need items there nicely. Managed to get a couple of bits of loot.
4,
Now we're over to the one-armed bandit himself.
1.
One thing I didn't realise,
Special
having worked in a pub and stuff like that, is how many people, and I don't know whether it's a British thing or not, but obviously the slot machines being called bandits, and the one-armed bandit being obviously the old school way you used to pull the arm down. A lot of people didn't realise that, which I thought was really clever of Blizzard to make a model like this and call it the one-armed bandit. I thought it was a brilliant idea. But yeah, it was a nice easy kill. Nothing eventful really. Spent a bit of time helping the ads down there. Bit of slapping down for him. Into phase 2. In execute range now. And we beat him to the bandits. There we go.
Run to edge of wind. Special coming.
There we go, one-armed bandit going down now. You can keep your tank buster, mate. It's doing nothing. There we go. Won a couple of bits of loots in there as well. Now we go on to the famous Muggsy.
5, 4.
What an absolute colossal balls up this fight was. Having done it in normal and heroic, and then do it in this LFR group, I just don't even know what to say. The mess was unbelievable. It wasn't too bad by this point, obviously once we'd come into the last phase. But once we hit that last phase, I don't know how people managed to get hit so bad by the gold. But when I taunted off, there were just gold puddles going absolutely everywhere. And here these gold puddles come now. And they're just going everywhere. And I was just like, where am I supposed to take the boss right now? Needless to say, we got Muggsy down first try. And I looked back at that room and I was just like, what is going on? But yeah, Muggsy down. LFR win. Obviously from here, onto Gallywix. And what can I say about Gallywix LFR? Other than it is the most boring fight I have ever done. It was slow, there were no mechanics. It was a tank and spank fight that I think because of the lack of mechanics just took so long to kill. Well, not really so long, but it just felt so long. It just dragged on and on. But Gallywix down, absolutely eventless. And I came out of there thinking, what have I just experienced in this fight? But there he is going down now. Bye Gallywix, thanks for coming. It's been emotional. Let's never do this again. I think I got a piece of loot here as well, which was great. And then it was time to do some mythics. So here we go with our first +2.
In order to stop my father, we need to infiltrate the city itself. And that means passing through.
And on that cliffhanger, big thank you to Steve Forward and ZepezTTV. If you've enjoyed, please make sure you like the video and subscribe. Till next time, guys.